Years ago, we were visiting my in-laws in West Virginia for Christmas. I had eaten way too much food, and I felt like I really needed to get a little exercise before my pants no longer fit me. So I set out on a walk. They live several miles off the last paved road in a community of farms nestled on the top of a mountain. I was walking in the dark, sort of lost in my thoughts, and kind of distracted by the sheer amount of stars I could see in that dark sky. And then I heard something to my right. I turned, only to see the silhouette of a massive bull. I mean, this thing was huge, and its eyes were literally glowing in the night. There was, much to my relief, a well-kept fence between me and him, but I double-timed it back to my in-laws' house with some serious pep in my step. Bulls are intimidating, which is why, in the ancient Near East, bulls were often associated with alpha male gods. Baal, one of the chief gods of the Canaanite pantheon, was often pictured riding on a bull. El, another god from ancient Canaan, was pictured as a bull. Ptah, one of the chief gods of Egypt, was identified as a bull. So when the Israelites were standing at the base of Mount Sinai, with ants in their pants, waiting for Moses to return to them, they fashioned a golden bull calf as an idol to worship. Idol worship was absolutely commonplace among the ancient pagan world. Idols were physical manifestations of the gods, divine images which served as reminders of the presence of the gods and as doorways for the gods to interact with their worshipers on earth. They were religious focal points and artistic representations of the divine. And one of the most unique features of Israelite religion, so unique that it set them apart from every other religious system of their day, was that there was to be no idol worship, no physical representations of God at all. In fact, the holiest physical object in ancient Israelite religion, the Ark of the Covenant, had a place right on the top of it where an idol could have gone. The ark was a box with two angels on top facing inwards towards an empty spot. It would have been the perfect place for an idol to go. But it was empty, at least to the naked eye. It was the place where God said that he would meet them. It was the physical location of God's special and unique presence on earth. It was the place where God dwelt among his people. But there was to be no idol, no object to focus on. Israel's God was marked by an invisible presence. But not at the base of Sinai. At Sinai, the people, anxious and scared, wanted something to focus their gaze on. They wanted the comfortable presence of an idol. It's what they would have remembered from their long 400-year time in Egypt. Egypt had had a lot of gods, and they had a lot of idols. They felt an absence, and so they wanted a physical presence to fill that void. And so was born out of the fire a golden calf, an idol, when God clearly demanded that there be no idol. The temptation for idol worship wouldn't end there, though. As Israel developed as a nation, the people would constantly be drawn into the religious forms of the nations around them. All the other people have idols. Why can't we have an idol too? Can't you just hear God say, well, if all the other nations jumped off a bridge? When the northern kingdom of Israel split off from the southern kingdom of Judah, the northern kingdom erected two temples for Israel's God. And in those temples, they fashioned bulls, not to represent a different god. They were crafted according to the iconography of their time and place to represent their alpha male god, who had defeated a pharaoh and who had won for his people their freedom and a land to call their own. But it was an idol where there wasn't to be an idol. And so here, in the second book of the Bible, the book of Exodus, we see the first and second commandments broken in one dramatic scene. The Ten Commandments are hot off the press, and already the first two commandments are violated. And as it turns out, it's the first step to annihilation. Here's some questions to ponder. What idols are you tempted to make?